myself to the stage. Can you guys see me and hear me now? Am I audible? Am I visible? Very good evening to one and all. Let's get started, guys. Before we start with the session, just a quick announcement on this college forms to fill. So for your CAT exam, all the omits and also the form for CAT, MBA college forms to be filled separately, and list of colleges to fill before CAT 2024 is what will be discussed in this session, which is to happen on 17th of October, right? That's tomorrow, right? That's Thursday, 8 p.m. onwards. So make sure that you guys are a part of the session in order to know how to fill in the form. And Sejal sir will be taking up the session for you, right? So make sure that you guys are in the session, you guys attend the session. So there were some questions we did in the last time. We'll be carrying on from the same where we left. Yeah. So this is the question we're going to start with. Very good evening, Raj, Maria, everybody. So the first question on the screen is here, guys. It's question number 14 for you because it's in the slides. We are picking up some grammar questions very quickly and then maybe some TETA questions. So this is what you have for your NMAT from the previous year question papers, right? Mother dashed me to watch time and return soon. I replied, please don't worry if dash late tonight. Okay. So A is asking, asked me, had been asking, or had asked, right? Simple tense question where you've been asked to figure out the correct tense. And as per the gentry of the sentence, you'll be figuring out what tense should be used. By gentry, what I mean here is whether it's a general sense, you're referring to that mother says in general, every day she tells you to watch time, or is it on a specific day, specific time when she asked you to watch time? What exactly should it be? What is the correct answer choice? Please pick up your answer from the chat box. In the chat box, drop in your answer, then we discuss it. Ashutosh D. Okay, mother had asked me to watch time. So when do we use had here? Had के साथ V3 कब use करेंगे? This is for the past perfect tense, right? This is for the past perfect tense. But when do we use past perfect tense? There should be two actions, right? The patient had died before the doctor arrived. So if I say here, just give me a second, guys. Let me just add something to it. Yeah. So if I say the patient had died before the doctor arrived, right? What do we have here? We have two actions happening. One, patient ka marna, दूसरा doctor ka आना. So whichever actions happens first, it uses had with a V1, V3, right? Died is V3. So we're using had plus V3 when you have two actions, and the former one, the previous action, the first action that happens has to be in the past perfect tense. Whereas the second action is simple past, right? So this is simple past tense. So here I'll be using had died. On the contrary, if we look at this particular question, right? On the contrary, if we look at this particular question, guys, I hope the screen is visible perfectly. Let me know if you have any doubts with what I wrote here. So here, if you look at, it says, mother dashed me to watch time and return soon. I replied because don't worry if dash late tonight, right? So you do not have any two actions happening here simultaneously. यहाँ पे कोई दो एक्शन साथ में नहीं हो रहे, ठीक है? Mother had asked तो नहीं आना चाहिए फिर, ठीक है? It's not had asked. Had been asking is like continuously been asking to you, like past perfect continuous. So that is also not needed. Is asking is like she's asking you right now. Mother is asking me to watch time. That means right now. And return soon, and I replied. Is asking and replied. So this is past tense, simple past tense. Right? What am I doing here? Is asking is continuous tense, like currently. Simple past is something which is over. Right? So there is no tense consistency. No tense consistency here. Right? यहाँ पे कोई consistency नहीं है tense की. So this is incorrect. We can't use it. So my mother asked me, this should be asked me to watch time. I return soon. I replied, please don't worry. If I am late tonight, if I get late tonight, right? So B Bombay is the correct answer choice. Asked me to watch time if I am late tonight. Are we good with the question? Guys, any doubts in the question, please ask. समझ आया कैसे करना है? Hello, people. I hope we're not sleeping in the class. Okay, let's hop on to the next one now. Please have a look at this one. If she dashed late just one more time, the manager dash suspend her. It's something which generally happens, right? You're not coming on time. Your organization would ask you to leave. Quick answers in the chat box. Yes. If she dashed late just one more time, the manager dash suspend her. If she gets late हो सकता था. Gets की जगह क्या हो सकता है यहाँ पे? Arrives. Why? Because we are referring to some action, right? So it is simple present tense. Simple present tense जाएगा तो क्या आएगा? Simple present tense मतलब subject plus V1 with an S or ES depending on whether its subject is plural or singular. Is arriving, if she's arriving late, you can't say is arriving. That means she is arriving late. So she is coming late, right? That way. So is arriving would not make sense. The manager is going to suspend her. Will suspend her हो सकता है. Is going to suspend her का कोई मतलब नहीं है. मतलब it's like wrong English. इसको slang में आप use कर सकते हो. This is going to happen, but this will happen is a correct way. If she will be arriving again, future, no. If she arrives late, manager will suspend her. Right? This is something which is referring to future. तो will आना चाहिए. Will के साथ simple past tense. ऐसा हो जाएगा. Right? Is going to arrive, would have, no. Answer is C, Calcutta. Cool with the question? Can we move ahead? Okay. Next one. Please have a look at this one. Let me know once done. They dash out for an evening walk after they dash dinner. It's a good question again. The same concept I just explained to you. Two actions happening simultaneously, one after the other. Like simultaneously, very small, short break, short period between the two actions. Okay. First you decide which action happens first. ठीक है, उसको आप past perfect में रखोगे. Past perfect मतलब verb का third form with your had. Right? If you know that first action, like the former action, has to be in the past perfect tense. Okay? By past perfect, what I mean is subject plus had plus V3. Right? Priya had eaten. Patient had died. So all we do is we use past perfect here. Right? For the first. And the second one uses simple past for the second action. Second part of the action. So they dash out for an evening walk after they dash dinner. तो पहले एक्शन क्या हुआ? डिनर का खाना. I mean, you eat your dinner, you have your dinner, consume, right? So it should be they had taken or eaten. यहाँ पे taken refers to eaten, right? So we have had plus V3. This is V3. Okay. They dash out for an evening walk. So you have go, went, and gone, right? So you use went here. So they went out for an evening walk. The went is what you're using, V2. They go out for an evening walk after they had taken dinner. Why can't we use have be here? Why can't we use be here, guys? What's wrong with be here? Ashutosh went for be here. What's wrong with be? They go out for an evening could be a simple present tense, like a usual action. They every day go out for an evening walk, like that. After they had taken dinner. Why would you say they had taken dinner? After they've consumed. No, so we don't use any had, have here. Huh. Had cannot be here, right? So again, this is not the correct choice. Have, gone, took, are going, no. So it has to be Bombay. Okay. They go out for an evening walk after they had taken dinner. Okay. We go for B. Next one. Quick answer, guys, in the chat box. When our train dashed at the station, we found the bridegroom's family dash for us. Two actions simultaneously. Short break. Correct answer last question is B. हाँ हमारे इसमें तो B आया ना. They go out for an evening walk. पहला part of the action. वो कब होता है? डिनर खाने के बाद. तो डिनर had taken, had eaten पहले आएगा. उसके बाद go went होना चाहिए वैसे तो. They go out for an evening walk. But yeah, it's correct. They do this. So we have B1. I think, just a second, guys. I wanted to have went for this. And it's not a usual action. It should be A rather. It's not be B. It should be A. They went out for an evening walk. Why went out? Like this happened later on. After they had taken. Now it makes sense. It should not be go. Rather, it should be went because we're referring to an action which happened on a particular day, not a usual action. Right? So it should be A here, not B. It should be A, Maria. Okay. Guys, for this one, when our train dashed at the station, we found the bridegroom's family dash for us. So when our train reached at the station, we found the bridegroom's family waiting for us. Right? So waiting or had been waiting. What is the correct answer? Reached at the station. Yes. Guys, be quick with the answers. Why not B? If you're going for D, guys. B, Bombay में क्या problem है? So had been waiting कब आता है? जब तक ये हुआ तब तक ऐसा हो रहा था. It's like that. Right? So by the time Priya completes 3 years in the organization, she would have become a senior manager at XYZ organization. By the time this happens, this would have happened like that. Right? So, but we are referring to past tense here. So when our train reached at the station, We found that the bridegroom's family was waiting or waiting for us. So it should be reached and waiting for us, not had been waiting. They just found that they were waiting, right? Try this. Rohan, I dash seen you for a long time. How dash you? Quick answers. Yeah. Rohan, I dash seen you for a long time. You're a new student. Cupid. Lego. Wow. कहाँ Lego Cupid को? Rohan, I dash seen you for a long time. How dash you? Rohan, I had not seen you. Rohan, I have not seen you. Rohan, I did not see you. Did not seen you makes no sense at all. Rohan, I have not seen you for a long time. How are you been? Have you been would have made sense, right? So क्या आंसर आ जाएगा? I have not seen you for a long time, since a long time. For और since कब use करते हैं? Also tell me this, guys. When do we use for? When do we use since? How have you been? Okay. So Rohan, I haven't seen you for a long time. How have you been? When do we use for? When do we use since? Let's quickly discuss this. Where is that sheet I had for you? Yes. For कब use करेंगे? Since कब use करेंगे? For is used for the time period. Okay. For 2 hours, for 1 year, and so on. Since will always when you have the starting point. Okay. When you have the beginning of something already given to you. Right. Since 1981. We have been living here since 1981. Or maybe Mr. XYZ was imprisoned for 5 years, for a span of 5 years. Right. So period of time is for and since is for the starting point. All right. Next question. For is used for period, right? Since is used to refer some incident that happened sometime back. So beginning of something. Please have a look at the new question, guys. Cupid, can you help me with your name? What does it actually refer to? Cupid Lego. क्या लेके क्या गए हो तुम? She dash movies. Dash any recent Hollywood movies. She loves watching movies. Love to watching movies. Is loving, loves watching. What's the answer? Yes, guys. मैम मैं आरके का क्या मतलब है? She loves watching movies, right? Love to watching नहीं होगा, is loving नहीं होगा, loves watching. So we have only 2 options left now. Dash any recent Hollywood movies. Have you watched any recent? Had you seen? So had you seen का कोई reference नहीं है. Have you watched any recent movie? So you are just talking something in general. She loves watching movies, like she loves. Right? Watching is not the verb here. It is loves, which is the verb. It's simple present tense. At the moment you say, have you watched any recent Hollywood movie? So this becomes present perfect tense. Have you watched any recent Hollywood movies is your present perfect tense. So A is the correct answer choice. स्पैम है ये हर्षित, स्पैम तो नहीं है, राजकुमार है ये. Next question. Sarah won tennis competition last week and they gave her a $50 gift certificate as her. Very simple question, I think. Let's move to the next one. Yeah. What does Jenny normally do in her free time? What's the answer? What does Jenny normally do in her free time? She reads textbooks in her free time. She reads textbooks in her free time. She often reads textbook in her free time. She usually reads. She के साथ reads आना चाहिए. This seems to be okay. Read नहीं आएगा. So she reads textbooks in her free time. She usually reads textbooks in her free time. What does Jenny normally do? So I'm going to answer it in the parallel way. So normally, usually. She usually reads textbooks in her free time. So D is the correct answer choice. What's wrong with B? Why not B, guys? B seems to be correct grammatically, but the only thing is that D is closer to the question. What does Jenny normally do in her free time? So normally को हमने usually से replace किया. She usually reads textbooks in her free time. So D is a better choice. Okay, next question. Simple preposition. Is very interested dash scuba diving. On and towards to. Quick, 10 seconds. Not parallel really. Yes, Maria, that's correct. It's not parallel, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to rephrase what is in the question and then answer it. Okay? He's very interested dash scuba diving. So in scuba diving होना चाहिए ना? In आएगा. On का कोई sense नहीं है, towards to. No, makes no sense. Forgetful man misplaces often his keys. Is the sentence correct or not? That's the question. I'll tell you what concept are we testing on. And if you find it to be incorrect, please correct it for me. In the chat box, mention the correct way of phrasing it. How would you phrase it correctly? Okay. Maria and Cupid answered. So, forgetful man often misplaces his keys, right? So this often should come here. Forgetful man often misplaces his keys. यहाँ पे often आ जाएगा. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे अगर often आ रहा है, तो what concept is being tested on here? What concept is it? What's happening in the sentence? We are misplacing a term. A term has been misplaced. We are rather repositioning it. We've changed its position, right? So what is it? Misplaces the verb, right? Misplaces the verb. And this term often is an adverb. ठीक है? तो ये जो terms होती हैं, these terms, guys, adverbs and adjectives, they impact your nouns and your verbs. ठीक है? मतलब nouns का मतलब pronouns भी होगा, of course. So, जब ये इसको impact करती हैं, तो overall ये adverbs, adjectives क्या बन जाते हैं? We call them as modifiers. Okay? What do we refer them as? Modifiers. Okay? So here, the same term often is also a modifier. It's simply if I say, I almost slept for 3 hours. Okay? I slept almost for 3 hours. Okay? Then I say I slept for almost 3 hours. And then at the end I say I slept for 3 almost hours. And then I say I slept for 3 hours almost. Please pardon my writing here. So what is it? Almost, almost, almost. It's just hopping its position, right? Every sentence gives a different meaning the moment its position changes. Almost slept मतलब लगभग सो गया. I slept almost for 3 hours मतलब लगभग 3 घंटे. I slept for almost 3 hours. Now, almost can be placed before for, can be placed after for, but this one would be more specific. I slept almost for 3 hours or I slept for almost 3 hours. So, naturally, if I have a term which is trying to modify something, impact something, right, that should be placed close to that term which is getting impacted. So, यहाँ पे 3 hours जो है, this is getting impacted. So, almost should be placed close to it. So, the most correct version of the sentence should be option number 3 here, right, which places almost at the closest position to 3 hours so that it impacts it directly rather than saying I almost slept for 3 hours or I slept for 3 hours almost. Again, these sentences would not make sense as much as clearly as this one would, right? This is called a modifier, and the same concept was being tested here. The forgetful man misplaces often his keys. It should be the forgetful man often misplaces his keys. What are we doing? We are placing this modifier here, right? This is a modifier. This is an adverb, and an adverb acts as a modifier when it is modifying the verb it is closest to. So this is the verb misplaces. So therefore the sentence was incorrect. Now it is correct when you replace the term often, make it close to misplaces. Okay. What was not visible, Maria? सेंटेंस कंस्ट्रक्शन तो नहीं था यहाँ पे. मतलब कंस्ट्रक्शन का प्रॉब्लम तब होता है जब पैरेललिज्म में कोई इशू आता है. यहाँ पे तो दिस इज ऑल टुगेदर अ डिफरेंट कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मॉडिफायर्स. फॉरगेटफुल मैन मस्ट बी मी. इट कुड बी एनीबॉडी. मतलब आई फॉरगॉट माय फोन एट द एयरपोर्ट व्हेन आई वाज ट्रैवलिंग टू अंडमान. For 1 week I didn't have my phone with me. All of us are forgetful, isn't it? We are all human. Anytime and every time, all of us can be that forgetful man. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Any doubts you have before we call it a day? Anything for chit chat you feel that you are struggling with? Parajumbles, reading comprehension, anything you want me to take up in the next session? I think last time we discussed on vocabulary, did we? Was it your batch or something else? I'm not able to recall. We did have a discussion about the vocabulary root words. Parajumbles थे. Parajumbles तो हमने कर लिए थे तुषार, पहले भी किए थे. मतलब we'll do it again, but from NMAT perspective, you know, from NMAT point of view, I think vocabulary के कुछ root words हम लोग कर सकते हैं. That will help us to, you know, build up at least the basic for the root words, so that any word you encounter, you know the connotation. पैराजम्बल थोड़ा बोरिंग हो गया. मतलब बहुत कर लिया है अभी तो. Let's pick up vocabulary. That could be with the root words, and then we can take some sentences and work around those sentences. Synonym, antonyms types कुछ close test कर लेंगे. ठीक है? So that's it. Let's call it a day now. Let's connect on the coming Sunday. Okay, it's Wednesday today. We'll be catching up on Sunday night. All right, guys. Thank you so very much for joining in. See you on the coming Sunday. Have a very good night.